Please welcome to the show, Shirley Shelley. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning to you, Mark. Very nice to catch up.
Great to have you on the show. And Lynn Mortimer as well. Hello, Lynn.
Good morning. I'm going to take issue immediately with the Grumpy Old Gits title. Thank you.
Okay. Which bit?
Yeah, all three.
Thank you both very much for coming on to the show. Age is no barrier to being a grumpy old git, I'll tell you. Now, look, lovely to have you both on the programme. And Shirley, you remember very well going round together, judging public toilets.
Indeed, I do. Lynn and I went round with Luke Deal, and that was a hilarious morning. I can tell you that now.
There were some pretty grim places you visited.
Indeed, we did, but some were very good. Not necessarily Ipswich, I'm afraid to say, but mainly in St Edmunds were the better ones.
Yes, the Arc Shopping Centre, I seem to remember, came out top of the list. What are your memories of that wonderful occasion, looking down toilet bowls, Lynn?
Well, it made me go out and buy wellies.
When they start opening it up again, because a lot of them are closed at the moment, perhaps when they open up, we should go again. We should see if things have improved. I doubt it very much, probably.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. Would you, Shirley?
No, I think Ipswich, especially the ones on Major's Corner, I'm very ashamed of those. I'm very sad about those. We do need to bring this up, you know. We bring it up year after year, Mark, don't we?
We do.
One down near the Red Bus Station. I mean, I don't even know if people know where that is, that particular toilet.
Oh, do you know what, Shirley? I haven't mentioned the Cattle Market Bus Station toilets on BBC Radio Suffolk for at least 2 years. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring up that subject once more today. The toilet facilities at the Cattle Market Bus Station, the County Council's favourite topic, along with potholes on this show.
But I mean, you can't pee in the pothole, but I mean, goodness me, if the toilets don't improve, Lynn will be in her wellies and we'll be peeing in potholes, won't we? Huh?
Well, that's a use for them, isn't it? Yes. If you can't go anywhere else, use a pothole. I like your thinking on that. Anyway, both lovely to have you on the show, and you can join in as well. 0800 141 2121 if there's something you want to get off your chest today. Just a bit of light-hearted fun, nothing too serious. And Lynn, if I'm going to start with you actually, because you want to talk about the reduction in size of chocolate bars and biscuits.
Yes, and I actually have the proof of this. Many moons ago, it must have probably been in the 1980s, I had a tin which took a certain well-known brand of digestive biscuit. And it fitted exactly the packet. You know, you could put the packet in as it was and just open the top. Right. Well, today, if you buy that very same brand of digestive biscuit, basically it rattles about and you can put some down the side. They've got so much smaller. Now, I know we're not supposed to eat a lot of sugar. But what's the difference? I mean, one digestive or three?
Once you open a pack, you can't stop. Well, I can't anyway.
And chocolate bars, oh my goodness. I mean, once upon a time, they were mighty, weren't they? You bought a chocolate bar and you thought, oh, this is great. This will last me the whole bus journey. Now you've eaten it while you're still in the queue. It's, they're tiny little things. And I have to say there are certain particular brands where I feel that the amount of chocolate has diminished. There's a popular sort of mid-morning break type bar.
Right.
With a biscuit inside.
Yes.
That's covered in chocolate. And I'm pretty sure that the amount of chocolate is not as thick as it used to be. And, while we're on the subject, Cadbury's cream eggs. Oh, sorry. Cream eggs.
Yep. That's okay. Go on.
Do they taste the same? I don't think they do.
Do you think they're fiddled with them?
Well, I do. Well, once again, I'm not sure about the level of chocolate in them. And walnut whips. Now, there was a brand of walnut whips that had a walnut at the bottom as well as at the top.
What's there?
I haven't come across a bottom walnut. If I'm allowed to put that delicately. I haven't come across a bottom walnut for some considerable time. So where did all the walnuts go?
Where have all the walnuts gone? Is this something that you've noticed as well, Shirley?
I don't really eat chocolate if I can help it because I'm too fat. But do you remember the wagon wheels?
It's where it all started, isn't it?
The wagon wheels were the biggest thing you could buy for your, I don't know, 2 pence or whatever it might have been in those days.
That I think that's where it all started. I mean, my brother used to have a bread round, and he used to come round when he'd delivered all the bread, and I was allowed a wagon wheel. And I know I was a lot smaller than I am today, but they were huge. They were huge.
I know.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like you, Mark, I rather wondered if it was me being bigger that made them look smaller.
Quite possibly. But the other one is Curly Whirly. Terry Scott used to come on there, didn't he, on the telly advertising Curly Whirly, and they used to be 8 foot long, didn't they, Curly Whirlies? Huge things. Well, maybe not that big, but they felt it.
Well, yeah, they were probably substantially longer than they are now. Yeah. Well, and look at your tubs of Christmas chocolates that you buy now.
Yeah, I know.
You have to get 2, don't you, for the one that you used to buy? Because
I must say, I buy all my cleaners chocolates for Christmas, big boxes of chocolates, and what we really have to hunt for the actual how many grams is in the box, because they parade the boxes in such a way that they look fantastic, but when you actually look to see how many grams there are, some of them are very few, and you do have to hunt for them. And when I opened them this year, I was very disappointed that the packaging inside is poor plastic and not at all a present which I really wanted to give my cleaners.
So you had to eat it.
We have quite a few boxes left if you would like some.
I'm fine, thanks.
It has changed, hasn't it? And you're right, we should look at how much we consume, but actually when you think about the size of the chocolate bars and the size that we all were growing up, we were tiny, weren't we? I think the difference is now not necessarily that we're eating more chocolate, but we're just not exercising enough. We're not running around as much. So when I was young, a Yorkie bar was huge, wasn't it? A Curly Whirly was huge. A wagon wheel was huge. But I was as skinny as a rake.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Now I only have to look at one and it's like, poof.
Straight on your hips. My hips, anyway.
I know. What have we got coming in here? We've got lots coming in here. Anthony in Lowestoft, talking of chocolate, what's happened to the hard caramel ones in Quality Street? I bought a tin at Christmas and there wasn't a single one inside.
No, don't have them now. No, you get the sort of finger-shaped caramel ones. That's all you get.
Yeah,
and you don't get those green ones with like a pyramid. I don't think anymore, because that's my favourite.
I got some of them, the green triangles.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
think Leslie we had some, and Leslie got 3, and they're my favourites as well. What else here have we got? Tony says Mars bars have shrunk to the size of a Milky Way. Oh, we're on a roll here. Angie's been in touch. Even a healthy snack is not what it was. Taking a healthy tack, Mark, Ryvitas appear to be half the size now.
And double the price.
It's not what it used to be. And I don't think it is because we're bigger. I really don't think it is. I've just had Steph shouting in my ears about the Milky Bar kid. He was strong and tough, and only the best were good enough, if you remember.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
well, they've had the Milky Bar kid not so long. They've sort of revisited that ad several times, haven't they, with new Milky Bar kids?
Didn't do us any harm at all. So what would we like when we start our political party? When I retire, you're all going to be members of my government. Are we going to lobby for chocolate bars to be a proper size again?
I would like to be the Minister for Chocolate, if that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a brief I could probably fulfil quite well.
And also, crisp packets don't seem to be as full as they used to either.
No, they're very low on grams.
Full of air.
Full of air. And the one thing that always winds me up is when I buy a packet of razors, because I have to have decent ones, because the cheap ones just cut me to shreds.
Oh, me too.
Oh, so I have to have decent razors. And then when you get the packet, you open it up and you think, there must be 4 in there because there are 4 gaps. And there isn't. There's only 3. And so there's a gap that's left in there.
Are they expensive?
And they're so expensive.
I know. I buy them for my cleaners. If they come to work with a beard, I make them go and have a shave. And I do, because they're scruffy. And I was amazed. £8 was the cheapest I could find, or I can't say the name, obviously. I was amazed. I thought, well, no wonder they're not having a shave at that sort of price.
Marie in Ipswich has been in touch. She's hoping that once we're out of lockdown that she can go for a drink with you two. She says, I'm laughing this morning. You're absolutely fabulous, darlings.
Oh, wonderful, darling. Just get the champagne out.
Liz in Shotley-Gate's been in touch. Wagon wheels are more like space savers now. I mean, they're not like wagon wheels anymore.
You used to have 2 hands to hold a wagon wheel. Do you remember?
You did. I know. They're like dinky toy wheels now, aren't they? It's not the same. Love to hear from you today. 0800 141 2121 if you want to join in with our grumpy old gals. It's Lynn and Shirley on the show today.
Debenham, our very own Charlotte Spackman has been stuck in traffic due to this A140
She's enjoying
diversion.
the show, though.
Well, of course, always. She says Debenham's gridlocked at the moment. There's lorries trying to pass each other in and around the village, and it's basically just horrible. It's all due to the A140 being closed in both directions at Thwaite, from the Walnut Tree through to the street in Stoke Ash, and it's going to be like that for the next couple of days, I'm afraid. Also, police are dealing with an accident in Thwaite on the High Street at Deadman's Lane. Grunsborough Road is closed in both directions because a tree is blown down. It's brought down some cables with it too. Ipswich, though, the A12 travelling northbound towards Ipswich, busy but moving. Bury St Edmunds, the Sicklesmere Road, the A134, no hold-ups coming into town there, and it's clear either side of the Bascule Bridge. As for the trains, Greater Anglia reporting a good service. Just remember, we are in this national lockdown again, so only travel if your journey's absolutely essential and you cannot work from home. Next update in 30 minutes, Steph McIntyre, BBC Radio Suffolk Travel.
Have you been helped by someone special during the coronavirus pandemic? We'd like to say thank you to these amazing people by awarding them a BBC Radio Suffolk Make a Difference certificate. To nominate, just email radiosuffolk@bbc.co.uk. BBC Radio Suffolk, showing our appreciation for those who have gone the extra mile to help those in need.
So Shirley and Lynn are our grumpy old gals today. I think Steph's itching to join in with this as well. There's another grumpy old gal today.
I'm always grumpy. You talked about crisps. I like to buy those big sharing packs, and they're all puffy, aren't they? You can take them off the supermarket shelf. You think, lovely, that'll make a nice big sharing pack. You open it, poof, it's just full of air. There's just nothing in there.
It's called Mark Murphy.
A few crisps lying at the bottom there. I mean, it's just not on, is it, Shirley?
No, they're very, very expensive, what they are, to be honest with you. Years and years ago, when we had our cafes, we only ever bought Walker's Crisps. And if we bought anything else, no one would buy them. Walker's Crisps they were, but of course, yes, they do still sell them, but they've got all these other posh names now, haven't they? All these designer crisps now.
Well, do you know what we had, and they weren't very nice, I have to say. We had at Christmas, they were Prosecco, and I think it was a cheese. I can't really remember now, but Prosecco crisps.
And you were surprised they weren't nice?
I just thought,
That sounded horrible.
Well, I just thought, they'll be nice and Christmassy.
Well, I like Prosecco
crisps.
and I like cheese, but I wouldn't want them together in a crisp.
They go mad, don't they? There's, I noticed there were pigs in blankets.
Yes.
Crisps reduced in the supermarket.
Yes.
What's wrong with a pig in blankets? You know.
I know. Gina in Felixstowe's been in touch. Wagon wheels, they should be renamed Reliant Robin wheels.
Yes.
And Bowlesy's been in touch. Hi, Mark. The gals are grumping well today in fine old Git style. My Christmas box of roses forgot to bloom. It was half empty. And why Snickers now, not a marathon? Let's talk to Oz, the taxi driver, who's with us. Good morning, Oz.
Yeah, good morning.
Happy
New Year to you all.
Happy New Year to you.
Especially to you, Shirley.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Keep up the hard work, darling.
Can I say this, right? You've got a wonderful daughter, right? I've never in my life been given a box of chocolates by anyone, right? And your daughter saw me in the town and she bought me a box of chocolates, and I really do appreciate that. Lovely girl.
Oh.
Thank you. I'll tell her.
This is the joy of local. This is the joy of local radio. You don't get this on the Today programme, do you?
No.
My goodness.
No, I'll tell you who you get in a moment.
That's another subject.
Yes. So, what do you want to say about chocolate, Oz?
Well, yeah, what I'm going to say is this. I've noticed that, looking for chocolates can be very hard because there's so many different varieties of the same chocolate bars, right? For instance, I like Turkish Delight, which is like a strawberry, perfumey type chocolate bar.
Yep.
It's not very big. You have to buy 3 to get the value for money. You buy 3 for £1 or 1 for 60p. Right? But they've got this new flavour now, which is the lemon one.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely, right? Yeah, you got lemon. You go, one of the shops near Sainsbury's, right, and you'll find it in there really lovely. All right, and I'll be eating them all over Christmas, mate. Absolutely
Right, so
lovely.
you're happy with the variety that we have now?
Yeah, I'm happy with the variety. I'm happy with the size, but I'm not happy with the price because the price it's twice the price and half the size.
When I think
Right.
what we used to buy with our pocket money.
I know.
I had
Well,
a
yeah,
shoot.
I'm not as old as you, Mark.
Harsh but fair.
Here we go.
You're now
Yeah,
off the radio, Oz. You're now off the radio.
No, I'm a little bit older than him. I just turned 60, right? And yes, back in the day, you could buy a sneakers for 2p, right? And they're twice the size of the things you got now. And it's not because I've got bigger and I've got a bigger mouth, right? They are definitely smaller. You
Come on,
know,
Lynn,
and
what
you'll
have you
find-
started here? Lynn, what have you started?
It wasn't me. Was it me? Oh, it might have been me, yeah.
No, but it's a fact, right? You know, I can actually put a Snickers bar in my mouth and just eat it with one bite.
I
It's
know.
gone.
I know. You have to buy a double one now, don't you? To get anywhere near what you had before.
Yeah, but you have to look around. Right? If you want value for money, like I said to you just now, if you buy one Turkish Delight, you pay 60, 70 pence for it. But if you buy a packet of 3, you get it for £1.
Okay,
So you have
search
to
around.
Be wise. Yeah,
Oz,
yeah.
thank you very much. Wise advice there on buying
Shop
chocolate.
wisely when it's looking for chocolate.
Yes, Betty,
Yeah, except
Betty
that,
joins us.
If I had 3 Turkish Delight rather than 1, would I actually pace myself? And
No.
no,
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't know. Betty, good morning, Betty.
Good morning, Mark and the girls.
You've also
morning.
spotted this, have you, Betty?
Well, I've got absolute proof about it. In the late 60s, early 70s, my husband was an engineer at Trebor Sweets, and he had to change the wrapping machines to make smaller bars, and also the dye on the boiled sweets to make smaller sweets.
Oh, crikey. So it started even then?
Yeah, right back as far as that. The blackjacks and little fruit things, he changed all the wrapping paper for those. They were all made smaller.
Fruit salad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fruit salads and blackjacks. Oh, my goodness, yes. Oh, I can
for a
taste them
penny.
now. All for a penny. Oh!
Yeah, 4 for a penny they were, yeah.
We should all go into our local newsagent or sweet shop now with a penny and say, what can I get, please? Davy T's been in touch. The thickness of chocolate on a Tunis cake is so thin compared to what it was years ago. It was around 15 millimetres thick back in the day. Now it's 3 millimetres. A disappointment at Christmas, and the actual cake was much smaller as well, says Davy T. Bounties, though, are getting a mention now from Phil in Poslingford. Bounties are still the same size and the same value. They are amazing, and the large ones have 3 in the packet. 3! And Reg the ref in Mildenhall. Morning, Leslie. Forget the Archers, Grumpy Old Girls, and Brian in Melton. What a show that would be. Keep safe, Suffolk. Now let's move on to one of your grumps, Shirley. And it's people popping up on television, the same people all the time.
Yes, well, I've just recently had a major operation with the wonderful NHS, who we can't praise enough at the moment, can we, dear?
No, we can't. No.
And my gripe is, because I've been watching a lot of television, why do directors continually use the same celebrities over and over again, such as, first of all, that was Carol Vorderman years ago. Do you remember her?
All the time,
Then we
yes.
had, she's beautiful, lovely, intelligent, but goodness me, yet again she was on. Then we had Claire Baldry.
Yep.
Then we had Ryan Clark with the shiny teeth. Didn't he, yeah? Philip Schofield, he's on nearly every other programme. And Greg Wallace, who I do like, but yet again, he's on the 5 programmes. I counted it yesterday, 5 programmes he does. And he did the last one last night about food in South Africa, which I wanted to see, and I fell asleep.
So they've clearly got very good agents, haven't they?
Well, I spoke to my grandson about it. He said, Grandma, this is called an enhancer. Those people being celebrities, he said, enhance the programmes for the directors. So, there you go. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know. But it is very wearing when Philip Schofield yet again is on the television. All morning he was on yesterday. Then
and the adverts. And the adverts.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course, the adverts as well. Pee you off, and not even good advertisements, are they?
And Ryland Clark Neal's on an advert as well for some car company now as well.
Yes, that's right.
I saw that.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I like them. They're pleasant. They've got the personality, and he's got the teeth, let's face it. But, oh, my goodness me. There must be other people out there who is equally talented who could promote things for us.
Lynn, what do you think of this? Too many of the same people on?
Yes, overexposed, I think the expression is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do think this seems to be cyclical, that you get one person who's the flavour of the month and you see them in just about everything for about 6 months and then it moves on to the next thing. I mean, I've noticed that Sarah Pascoe, for example, was in a couple of shows the other day.
She's everywhere, isn't she?
Exactly. And you know... Tom Allen, is it, the comedian?
Yes,
yeah. He's had a spate of being in absolutely everything.
So is Shirley Ballas.
Yes, Shirley Ballas. She's there all the time, and I absolutely agree with Shirley in this. There are so many talented people who didn't necessarily weren't necessarily a runner-up in the X Factor or so forth, but are incredibly talented, and these people don't get a look in.
I think the one to watch now is Alison Hammond, who's going to be on this morning, isn't she? On Fridays, she's on loads of things as well at the moment on Radio 2 as well. Lots of these people end up on Radio 2 doing shows too.
And what about that man from Manchester? He used to be on about the knockout of the man chooses a girl, etc. And he's on Top Gear. He was on something over Christmas. I've forgotten what his name is now. He's from Manchester, bald-headed fellow, very talented. But oh yes, here we are again. You know,
friend of Peter Kay, that one.
No, he wasn't Peter Kay.
What's his face? What's his face? What's his face in Top Gear? Comes from Bolton, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does Blind Date and things.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. What's his name?
We know him so well. We've seen him so many times we can't even remember his name.
No, we've...
and actually
memorable.
Yeah, it will come to me in a minute when we're off air, probably. And Lynn, you also want to kind of expand this with celebrities bringing their families on television.
Oh, I despair. I really do despair. I mean, Romesh Ranganathan was one of these, was one of these people who was on everything for a while.
Yes.
That's right.
And if that was enough, his mum was in one of them.
She's in quite a few.
I mean, what was that about? And also, oh, hello, I can hear a dog barking.
Yeah, Shirley's bringing her dog on the radio.
Shut him out. I've got a little dachshund. We've got a rescued dachshund. My goodness me. No one told us they made a lot of noise.
Jack Whitehall.
His dad?
He roamed around with his dad. Bradley, now you see, it's gone down a generation now. They've got the older celebrities, Bradley Walsh, Martin Kemp. They both hoik around with their sons, don't they?
Yes, they do. They do.
And why? I mean, I think actually that Martin Kemp's son, was he on Love Island or something similar?
Yeah.
Yes,
so I suppose he has had a stint on telly. But the others, no particular reason, except I expect they're, well, are they cheap? I don't know.
Well, a good question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the aforementioned Ryland Clark Neal has his mum on his radio show every week.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
No, I don't see. I don't see the point of that. I mean, it must be nice. It's nice to keep things in the family. But oh my goodness, when it gets to sort of broadcasting, no.
Yeah, Rick Stein's had his son on a few times as well.
Yeah.
Jack.
Who has, sorry?
Rick Stein.
Oh,
his son Jack's been on.
Yes. Yeah. Don't need it. Let them make their own way in the world, I say.
Well, I do think, like Philip Schofield, he's on so many things. You know, he's on the Cube, he was on the Gold Rings, he's on the Morning, and of course, as Mark just said, he is also on advertisements, which you think, oh no, not again.
The person you were thinking of, Paddy McGuinness.
Paddy McGuinness, that's the one.
Yeah.
Paddy McGuinness.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who's texted in with Paddy McGuinness, which I couldn't remember his name. He's been on too much.
I mean, I do like
he's from Manchester when he's clearly got an Irish name.
Yeah, he's from Bolton, I think, isn't he? I think it's Bolton, Greater Manchester. We've got the Grumpy Gals with us, Lynn and Shirley, and Glenda's emailed in from Stowmarket Girls. Love the girls. Can I join them? She says. Could be some party when we can all get together. On the subjects of the celebrities on television, just switch them off. Just switch the off button. Just switch them off. And as for the car advert with the one with the teeth, he gives me the heebie-jeebies. Ryland Clark Neal gives her the heebie-jeebies. Let's see what else we've got in here. This is, I totally agree with the grumpy old girls. Get rid of all these celebs. They do your brain in. I'm sick of seeing their faces. Who cares if Oxy and Jack want to tour America? Not me, says John. I don't even know who Oxy and Jack are. What else have we got here? Coming in on Twitter today, the size, this is from Nigel, the size of toilet rolls isn't what it used to be. Is that something you've noticed, Shirley?
Yes, what they do with those is they pack them very tightly, or alternatively, they blow them up like a lot of air between each leaf, makes it look a lot bigger. You can always look to see how many leaves are on the packet of the toilet rolls. That's the answer. Look at the amount of leaves. That should tell you. Yes, you're quite right.
The amount of leaves? What do you mean the amount of leaves?
Each toilet piece of paper, as you tear it off, is called a leaf.
Is it really?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Lynn?
I think I probably did, because some places have limits, don't they? 3 only,
Oh, no, you're talking about...
Like here at the BBC.
What shops are you going, Lynn? Hey, are you going in the cheap shops, darling?
No, well, I wouldn't like to say. No. Obviously I've stockpiled.
I think most people have, but there's plenty of toilet rolls. It's just a delivery. It's a stock delivery coming through to the warehouses that causes any delay, but there's plenty coming in.
So each individual little bit of toilet tissue is called a leaf?
Yes. And what they do is they blow that up, you see, so you get a nice puffy toilet roll. It looks really good, but if you actually look to see how many leaves you've got per toilet roll, that is the secret, because obviously there are not as many in there as you think they are.
Okay, thank you very much. Every day's a school day with you two, that's for sure. Now, look, I'm getting to an age now where I've got a jar. Well, it's not a jar. It's a glass. It's a glass jar. Can you have a glass jar? You can, can't you? Glass jar of tuna. Okay, and rather than a tin, it's slightly posher tuna from a German supermarket, and it's a glass jar with a normal kind of jam jar lid on. And do you think I can open that jam jar?
I'll tell you how to do that.
Can I, heckers like? Please, yes.
Yeah, you get a big spoon and you knock it all the way around the lid. And that will release the air, because my mother told me this years ago when she worked in Woolworths. She said she was the lady that made all the sandwiches, and she couldn't open the jar, and a soldier said to hand me that here, dear, and give me a spoon, which he did, and he knocked all the way around the top of the lid of this jam jar, and then you turn it and it releases the air.
So you got to knock all around the top? Oh, right,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll try that.
There's a tool you can get as well, isn't there? Sort of like a piece of rubber that you put round and tighten and...
Yes, for the people with disabled hands, yes. Or you can get another tool, it's called a man.
I'm not going there.
Well, I'm clearly not one of those anymore, because I really struggle with this jar of tuna. I shall just get a tin, I think, in future. Here's Jenny getting in touch. Absolutely loving the girls this morning. Thought I was the only one fed up seeing the same old faces on telly. It's like being in the room with them, says Jenny. Yeah, more of those coming in this morning. Dor says another trick with loo rolls is some have big cardboard tubes as well.
Yes, they do.
They do.
It's called a core. In the middle, it's called a core. Some of them are 2 inches and some of them are 2.5, and it makes it look bigger.
Right.
But the trick is the leaves. Look at the packet. See how many leaves it says on the packet.
Okay. Well,
and
I will do.
You can divide by the average number you use and work out how long it's going to last.
Indeed. Simple.
Look, we're going to have to leave it there. Frankly, I could talk to you two all day.
Good.
And you'll come back and join us again on a Wednesday at some point in the future.